Hey everyone, welcome to Rezzies and Redeyes with Zoey and Andrew. We're here to share our travel stories, foodie adventures, and tips to make every trip unforgettable, all with a lot of laughs along the way.
And we're so excited to have you here along for the ride.
You can check out our photo and video highlights on our Instagram.
At Rezzies and Redeyes. And if you have a story, a travel hack, or a question you want us to cover, send us a DM and your passenger notes might just get featured on the show. And if you're enjoying the podcast, don't forget to rate, subscribe, and leave us a review. It really helps more foodies and travelers find us.
All right, let's get into it, baby.
Yeehaw.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining in for episode 4 of Rezzies and Redeyes. Thanks for following along with us as we detailed our journey through Rio de Janeiro. And now we want to talk about our Delta One experience, which is something that Zoe's been desperately wanted to talk about since we got back from our trip because of how great it was.
Was it worth it? That's the real question.
That is actually the question which we're going to dive into here. But first, we're going to get into our passenger notes.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. All right, so we're going to go over a question we got actually a couple weeks ago after we did our first episode in Rio de Janeiro. Okay, so let me just look for it real fast. Okay, got it. Okay. This question comes from Eric in Texas. He's asking, Rio de Janeiro has a reputation for not being safe. How safe did you both feel while you were there vacationing in Brazil? Baby?
Yeah, so I think Rio is a huge city. And like any city, there's going to be little sketchier areas that maybe you shouldn't travel in. And in general, I felt pretty safe there.
Okay.
Sure. We were obviously more at the touristy areas.
Did you hear that though before we went? Like when I told you we were going to Rio, did you think it had a reputation for not being safe?
I think South America in general maybe does.
Well, because I had specifically heard that Rio
and
actually
Brazil.
did have, because I think I had first heard this when the Kansas City Chiefs went to play that football game down there. They played down at the Maracana Stadium, and the players had made statements that they weren't allowed to bring cell phones or have anything out because it would be stolen immediately if you walked outside. And some of the football players, you can look this up still, that they were told by staff that you walk outside and everything's going to be stolen immediately. That's why I was curious if you had actually heard similar things like that.
No, I can't say I have really. I mean,
it's not because nowhere else in South America I've heard of that. I've never heard Argentina was any worse than any other place for crime. Peru, maybe Colombia, but
I've heard stories about some places. Yes.
Okay. Well, like I said, the only thing I would heard where it was actually an issue was Rio de Janeiro. I
think, obviously, I don't know what people do when they're there, but I mean,
well, like I said, the football players were told not to even bring their cell phones out because they might get snatched.
Well, there definitely are cities like that, and I didn't feel, obviously, just mind your stuff at all times.
Yeah.
And, I mean, there's definitely opportunities for people to take your things if they're going to.
Right. So because I had heard about this possibility of higher crime there in Rio, I actually looked into it online and my chat, and I got the same responses from everything when I searched, should you bring nice clothing or jewelry? And everything said, absolutely not. Don't bring anything that you would hate to lose there.
Well, yeah, I think don't wear your nicest things. There are definitely impoverished areas of the city that I probably wouldn't go to alone. And as a woman, there's areas of the city that I wouldn't go alone either. The locals can tell who's tourist and who's not. Yeah. So, I mean, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. But I don't think the chances are higher than Paris.
I just think the reality was very different than the impression I got when I looked it up, because like I said, everything I looked up online was saying, oh my gosh, you're going to have your phone stolen if you go outside and don't bring anything out. which I think was the case. Like, we were outside countless times while we were there. I'm on my phone looking to find a place to go. Remember when we couldn't find the dance studio for samba class, and we were walking around outside there on Copacabana Beach looking for it, and I had my phone out, and there was not a problem whatsoever.
Not a problem, but I think just being aware of your surroundings.
Well, yeah, with that said, I feel like you can take your phone out and look for directions. Obviously, if someone runs and grabs your phone, don't send us a bill at Rezzies and Redeyes for that.
I think just travel smart at all times. Be aware of your surroundings. Yeah.
Yeah. Like at nighttime when we were out, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. The latest we were out, I think it was like 10:30, 11 when we left dinner and when we left Samba Club. And like I mentioned on our episode 1, the only time I really felt a little out of sorts was when we were in the downtown area after we walked from the Escadera Celeron over to the library.
Yeah, but that was also in broad daylight. And I think these areas would be much different at night. So I can't speak on that. I obviously wouldn't go roam around at night by myself, but
yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. So what I would say, I think, is that don't let some of the things you read online deter you from going, because the city itself was fantastic and we'd love to go back to Brazil. But of course, just like Zoe's saying, you always want to be cautious and follow your guidelines when you're traveling in international countries.
The U.S. advisory for Brazil is level 2, which just indicates to exercise increased caution due to crime. So yeah, I would just avoid the high crime areas, favelas, just stay in the touristy neighborhoods, basically.
And just not too late at nighttime.
Yeah. We did meet a woman there on our samba class who had been traveling. She's a solo traveler.
Yeah.
And she had actually been staying in Brazil for a few weeks when we met her.
I think she was there for over a month already. Yeah.
Yeah. And she was getting around just fine. She was actually taking language classes there, but yeah, she had all good things to say. Also in our samba class was a family, so I mean there were a lot of families that were there. Also, yeah,
Paramount. So yeah, we saw all that on the beach. Tons of families. So yeah.
So exercise the normal precautions when traveling. Yeah. So just be safe. Use your head.
Be safe. Okay. All right. Well, let's get in now to the episode on Delta One.
Let's do it.
All right, everyone. So this is the highly anticipated episode on Delta One because of everything that's always going to tell you about Delta One. And I think you made a good point, baby, earlier saying that you wanted to focus on whether or not flying Delta One is worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people wonder that. And I would say there's a lot of controversy.
Now there is.
I feel there will be.
Just for some background on Delta, because like we said in our episode 1 on Rio, that we actually, like I said, the first time I'd ever flown Delta was when you took me to New York. And I remember you booked the flight. We flew the Comfort Premium to New York from LAX. We flew to JFK. The seats to me there in Comfort Premium were unbelievable, like better than anything I'd flown before. So I was sold from that one trip you took me on. And I think from then I was wondering when we'd be able to take that leap and do a Delta One flight. And I wanted to do that for you and for our trip to Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah, I think Delta has recently really been pushing the whole first class experience and trying to make luxury travel their main focus. I think they're doing a really great job at marketing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I know it's definitely now the best performing airline stock and most profitable airline company here in the United States. So they're obviously doing something right. I think that was why we definitely wanted to fly Delta One and experience it for ourselves.
Yeah, and I've been traveling with Delta for a few years now, and I am a loyal Delta girly.
Gold medallion.
Almost.
I'm at the silver.
Yeah. We're gonna get you there, baby.
I'm almost there.
So yeah, I've always really enjoyed the Delta experience, and I think that's why I had such high expectations for this whole Delta One experience. And I don't know, I had like this thought in my head that it was just going to be
I did as well.
This mind-blowing experience, especially like I've flown Delta's Premium International, and that was a great experience on like a 10-hour flight.
Well, we flew the Premium Select to London.
That was with Virgin.
Yeah, you're right. That was a partner. Yeah, partner of Delta. So you're right.
Yeah. I mean, so the Premium International flight was incredible. I mean, that was when they were doing, I guess they're still doing that's when they were doing their collaboration with Toomey, and like the kits were nicer, I feel like. Yeah, just a different experience.
Yeah. So before we get into Zoe's full breakdown of the Delta One trip, just for a little background, can you tell us a little bit more about the history of Delta, baby?
Yeah, Delta has an interesting history. I don't know, a lot of people
I didn't know that.
Don't know this. It actually started in 1925 in Macon, Georgia.
Georgia.
As a crop dusting company.
Oh, that's where the hub is in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's why their hub's in Atlanta, I'm assuming, because they started out in Georgia. And they were originally named Huff Dollin Dusters and sprayed pesticides over cotton. So then in 1928, they moved the company over to Monroe, Louisiana, and renamed it Delta Airlines.
Didn't you work in Louisiana briefly?
I did.
Shreveport.
Yep.
Shreveport.
Shout out to Shreveport.
Excellent little city.
Right down the road. So, and then in 1929, Delta went ahead and started actual passenger transport.
It's funny that a crop dusting company has now become literally one of the biggest airlines in the history of the United States. Tell us a little bit about the Delta One history.
Yeah, and Delta is just celebrating their 100-year anniversary. So happy late anniversary, Delta.
25, you're right.
Yeah. So Delta One's history, they actually started their first premium long haul flight in 1969 called Royal Service. I kind of think they should have stuck with this one. That sounds so fancy.
Sound fancy.
They didn't start the whole Delta One brand until 2015 and expanded on the Delta One suites in 2017 with the arrival of Airbus A350.
Okay. Yeah, that's one of the new planes that Airbus has built.
Yeah, so they actually introduced the world's first all-suite business class.
What does that mean?
Just the cabins featuring the whole privacy door.
Yeah, so
that's interesting.
Yeah.
They were really the first one.
Yeah, right.
What about Emirates?
No, I mean, it was Delta that started off that whole sliding door privacy for business class flying. So it's interesting. I think that they marketed it as Delta One being every seat has a sliding door, but that wasn't really the case on our trip.
No, it wasn't. There were no doors.
There were no doors. So let's get into our actual experience with Delta One. So we had arrived to LAX. Remember our guy took us, and we didn't know this. Did you know this, baby, about the private check-in for Delta One? I didn't know when we were going.
I knew about the private check-out like whenever they started rolling out with the Delta One lounge. This was something that was also marketed at LAX.
Yeah.
However, I never saw it. I just kind of thought it was there somewhere that I wasn't looking for before.
Yeah, and we kind of figured it out because after we had checked in just at the usual areas where you check in, we were walking over to security, and then we saw the elevator. Remember, we saw the elevator there in Terminal 3 saying, private check-in area for Delta One. So don't do what we did. So it's kind of goofy the way they set it up.
Yeah, I forgot all about it, honestly.
Yeah.
So,
well, you were so excited, baby, to go.
I was looking forward to the Delta One lounge.
Yeah,
I forgot all about the check-in.
So we were in a rush to get over to the Delta One lounge to spend as much time there as possible. I had to look it up. So the Delta One private check-in, they say you have to actually go to the Terminal 3 arrivals.
Yeah. So if you are doing Delta One out of LAX, do not go to departures. You actually check in at arrivals. Something that they should maybe make more clear.
Absolutely, yeah. So it looks like it's around the 3G, 3H markings there on the arrivals area. And then from there, you have a private entrance, private security, private bag check, and then they get you through security, and then you're on your way to your flight.
Yeah, I wonder what it's like because honestly, whenever we go to LAX, like TSA pre-checks, like
Fast.
I don't know, 2 seconds.
Yeah. Well, we're also faceless now.
Touchless, not faceless.
We're also touchless. So it really is fast. It's a separate line for touchless.
So yeah, I wonder how that experience is compared to just basic check-in.
I'm sure it's awesome.
Like, does it feel awesome? I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Well, yeah. So,
or if somebody has experienced this, please let me know. Let me know what I missed out on.
Caveat for Zoe's 30th birthday, I'm taking her back on Delta One. So
they have a chance.
She doesn't know where she's going yet, but yeah, we're going to experience this whole thing all over again. So we got through the normal security check-in very quickly. And then we wanted to get over to the Delta One lounge. How was the Delta One lounge experience, baby?
Yeah, so I was very excited about this. This lounge has been open for a year and a half, 2 years almost. And it was like a really big deal when it opened. So I was so excited for us to finally try it out.
Yeah. So what was funny because unlike the Sky Lounges, you know, they have I don't want to call him like a bouncer.
Well, the Sky Lounges have those too.
No, not like this.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I mean, they check your ticket.
They just have like a front desk person. This was
Well, you still have to check in.
This was what do you call it? Chauffeur? Chaperone?
Bouncer. A Delta One Club bouncer.
Anyway, there was a very
nice gentleman.
Very nice gentleman. Guarding the entrance of the Delta One lounge. And it was funny because we flew to Atlanta first, which we flew just economy because of how the tickets worked out when I booked them through the Sapphire Chase portal. And so the first ticket doesn't say Delta One. So I thought I had to show him the second portion of the trip, which from Atlanta to Rio, which was the Delta One leg. And when I showed him that one, he said, "Why are you showing me the second leg?"
No, he was just messing with you.
He said, "Oh, I see you're trying to bring your lovely lady into the Delta One lounge.
And impress her. Yeah.
And then when I showed him the first leg, he said, "Oh, I see."
Yeah. So just for clarification, you only need to have Delta One on one of the legs of your flight. So you could be flying, you know, economy, domestic, as long as you have a Delta One flight within that 24-hour window, you're good to go.
Yeah. So it's a separate entrance from where the Sky Miles lounge is there in Terminal 3. It has an elevator to go up from there. And from the moment we walked in, it was clearly different than just the standard Sky Lounge.
Yeah. Well, way less crowded, which was nice.
Yes.
Definitely like nicer, felt more relaxed,
more business.
Yeah.
More elegant, I thought, because I feel like the Sky Lounges that I've been in now, because we fly Delta so often, some get definitely way overcrowded.
Oh yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah. And then it's just not a nice experience. Everyone's always very nice in the lounges. We were recently flying back from Las Vegas a couple of weeks ago with the family, and we tried to go to the Sapphire lounge that just opened there. And the wait was like an hour and a half. I mean, so
oh yeah, I mean,
it's just I think these lounges are great ideas. It's just if the wait to get in is an hour and a half, what's the point of doing this? A lot of my friends have said the same thing about the Centurion lounges as well through Amex. So
yeah, I think the whole lounge is getting pushed so much that everybody's just like doing it now. Whereas maybe they used to not so much. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I also think like a Sapphire Reserve card used to be
harder to get.
Now I feel like just everyone has one.
I mean, yeah, Amex gave me one. They gave me 2.
Yeah, right. So I just feel
They're
like
just handing those things out.
if everyone has a card, then the lounges just get so packed. So this was refreshing, I think, for us to be able to get into the Delta One lounge quickly, easily, and it was, I mean, it was damn near empty when we walked in.
Well, and I also want to point out Delta received a lot of pushback over the last few years because they did make it harder to get into the lounge by adding further restrictions. They removed the club membership that you used to be able to have, which they've recently added back.
Yeah.
But a lot of people were very unhappy with them restricting lounge access. But at the same time, I kind of get it because, yeah, I mean, you want it to be at least a little exclusive. And when everybody, like anybody can just go up to the door and pay to get in. I don't know.
I mean, like I said, if it's so crowded, you can't find a charger. I remember one of those times I couldn't even find like a phone charger to plug into. It was
just, or you can't even find 2 seats next to each other.
Next to each other. So,
anyways, let's talk about Delta One Lounge.
Oh, it was amazing.
So we were greeted. We got seated in the restaurant, and we immediately had a waiter come over to us. Got menus. Got some water. He brought us champagne.
We picked the absolute perfect time to go because
it was breakfast to lunch.
So we got the breakfast menu, which everything, and we'll show you the picture of it because Zoe got a video of the menu, but everything on the breakfast menu looked amazing.
Yeah. So everything's like made to order. They have fresh juices, like wellness shots, all the stuff that I like. Yeah. And Andrew got an omelet, which was very yummy. I think I got like a parfait or something.
Parfait.
Yeah.
We had some champagne.
Really like fresh fruit.
Yeah.
It was all very nice.
So while we were waiting for our food to get delivered, we walked around the lounge. It's not very big. We went to the outdoor patio and we took some photos out there, which was nice. And then by the time we walked back to our seat, our food was there, what'd you think about the food?
It was great. I mean, for airport food, I mean,
that was fantastic. Obviously, you don't pay for anything, and the food was delicious. And then, fortunately, just like Zoe said, they started the lunch service. They brought us a brand new menu.
And Andrew proceeded to order everything off of that menu.
And I ordered
without any shame.
Of course not. He asked us, "What would you like?"
Yeah, I mean, our waiter was great. It's very nice.
Oh yeah, the service there was excellent. We both freshened up in the restroom before we left to board our plane. The bathrooms were super clean.
Oh, they were like so nice.
Yeah, they were really nice.
But I don't know if did they have showers?
They do.
They do.
Have showers. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they had like the showers and the massage chairs. Yeah. We didn't check out that, but they have like a designated room for the massage chairs that is dark in there.
Yeah. So I see why it's definitely a perk when you fly Delta One because I didn't want to leave.
I did appreciate the lounge. I think it's great. I do feel like there's room for more amenities of some sort in there.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, anyone out there who's done the Emirates Lounge or the Korean Air Prestige lounges, let us know because I was thoroughly impressed, but maybe there's something out there that I don't know about.
I often see people say, these foreign airlines, you can't even compare their first class to American Airlines. Not the American Airlines, but our American Airlines like version of first class and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just different. But yeah, it's worth comparing, I think. Yeah, so I think maybe they can make up for it at their new lounge that they're going to be building coming in 2027, just in time for the Olympics to Terminal 2.
Yeah, looking forward to that. It sounds like it's going to be incredible. So when we go, we'll update everyone on that.
Yeah, I'm really wondering if they're going to beef up the whole Delta One experience since they are so heavily focused on the whole luxury travel.
Yeah.
I hope to see it.
I hope. I'm there. I'll be there. You serve me breakfast and lunch, I'll be there.
Yeah, same.
So following this, Zoe dragged me out of the Delta One lounge so we could make our flight to Atlanta. Like I said, that we flew economy. Then from there, we flew down to Rio De Janeiro. This was our Delta One leg. So this is where I just got to specify because I had to look this up. That route from Atlanta to Rio by Delta is flown typically in a 767 Boeing 400 plane, which this is their older version of Delta One.
Yes. Much older. Honestly, I could look past the plane. That wasn't like my biggest issue.
Okay. All right.
Honestly.
Well, how were we greeted?
On the flight there, how were we greeted? Boarding. I feel like it could have been a little more.
Yeah, we walked in, they looked at our tickets and just pointed us to the part of the plane where, business class was. So which seats did I pick, baby?
You picked the middle seats.
So just to clarify for everyone, so this was the 767, so the older versions. The layout there is a 1-2-1 setup. So if you're flying individually, like if I was flying solo, I don't know what you think, baby, but I would pick one of the side seats if you're one, but obviously we were going together.
I wanted to be at the front of the plane.
So I did pick the middle seats, but Zoe felt that it would be better to sit in the first row, which I don't know. I have no idea. I said, sure. let's move.
If you get anything from this, never, ever sit there. Whatever you do not sit in the first row. Oh my God.
I think when we sat down, our flight attendants brought us waters and champagne. And
I think we had to ask for the champagne though.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because I don't think
I think other people had it.
Yeah.
But they didn't bring us any.
Yeah. So you're right. I think we had to just ask someone just for that greeting champagne. What'd you think about the seats themselves?
They were okay. You have space.
Do you? That was my thing. Yeah.
I mean, I'm tiny, so
yeah, you're 5 feet.
My TV was flying out at me also.
So I think the space thing got me, because when I was looking forward to the Delta One portion of this, I thought, okay, we have lay flats. We're going to have all this room and not feel cramped. The way they have it, at least on this configuration, they have like the foot cut out.
Yeah, it's just a very poor configuration, honestly.
So I'm like 5'11", a little under 6 feet. And when I would lay flat all the way down, my feet almost felt like they were kind of like almost restrained in that little cutout area. And it kind of gave me this feeling like I was like, stuck.
Like the foot area is like this tiny little cubby.
Yeah. Right.
Which I mean was like fine for me because I'm not even 5 feet
You're
tall.
5 feet, baby. Don't sell yourself short.
I'm actually not, but but it wasn't the greatest. The seats themselves were like okay, comfortable.
But they had the comfort top. What do they call it? Mattress top.
Yeah, the bedding cover you put over your seat whenever you're going to bed.
What else did they give us?
They had their collaboration right now is with Missoni. So we got like our little overnight bag and our duvet comforter. All from Missoni. It was cute. Yep. The products in the bag were okay. Tiny, obviously. I mean, they're not that great quality. Obviously, we know that.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have done better. I think I put my socks on for fun and my foot literally ripped out of the socks. So I was like, okay, just garbage.
Yeah. You have separate headphones there just for your entertainment center as well, and all the charging setup you could want when you're flying international. I thought the seats were like
mid. Yeah,
not very comfortable, to be honest.
I mean, how long did you sleep on this flight?
I don't wear an Oura ring like you do, so I'm not sure what my sleep score was, but I'm sure it was horrendous.
Yeah.
So, why don't you tell everyone about how the night went when we tried to go to sleep?
Yeah, so we ended up before we winded down, we had dinner service. Delta's current collaboration was with Zoey and Andrew, who is an excellent Michelin star chef. And his cuisine is traditionally more of a Spanish take. the food. So we pre-ordered our meals beforehand. I got the braised short rib with mashed potatoes, green beans. Andrew ordered the sea bass.
Came with a corn side.
Yeah, like a rice tomato.
Yeah. And then we had the appetizer was kind of odd. It was just
like two prawns. And some tomato bisque.
I was always not a huge fan of prawns, and tomato bisque I thought was fine.
I mean, yeah. It was like, I don't know, maybe out of a box, but I love tomato soup, so I don't care. Also, you remember I had to ask for forks?
Yeah. You didn't
and
get
they
utensils.
Yeah, they kept forgetting to give me utensils. Service was kind of odd.
Yeah, it was off, but I think that kind of continued throughout the night. So,
honestly, it was just a really poor flight crew, which I've never had that before.
Well, yeah, like I said, I've never flown business class before, and to have that kind of service there was shocking.
Yeah, I mean, usually the flight crews on all the flights I've flown have been pretty great. I've never had a really terrible crew.
Right.
However, these people. Yeah. But anyways, so the food, the short rib, I mean, it was okay.
Yeah,
it was dry.
I thought the fish was a little overcooked.
I mean, obviously this is plain food, I know, but I thought for a Jose Andres collab, it was going to be a little better presentation.
Some of the other Delta flights, when they have the Shake Shack burgers, I love those burgers.
Oh yeah, those are good. Fabulous. But I've flown the first class with Korean Air, and their food was actually food that you want to eat. It was so good.
Made to order steak.
Yeah, I mean, whatever they do, I don't know, but the Shake Shack stuff, I love that.
Yeah. So this was an underwhelming dinner, I thought.
Especially since they've marketed so heavy on the whole Jose Andres collaboration. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah.
So we finished the meal, and then I don't know what we left around 10 p.m. from Atlanta, so it was already time for us to just sleep. Or, well, we thought it was time to sleep.
Attempt to
sleep. So, like I already said, I put down that to a full lay flat, and like I said, I just could not get comfortable in that lay flat, and I typically sleep with my sunglasses on to try to block out all the lights, and also so that people don't stare at me.
Like me?
No, I love when you stare at me. I don't want the flight attendants to walk by and look at me.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, I keep my sunglasses on, but
I had no idea you're so insecure about that, baby.
But for this flight, I needed the sunglasses not just to stop people from looking at me. They literally left both of the aisle lights on in the front, which I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, so they turned off all the cabin lights, but the lights where the flight attendants usually stay, where the bathrooms are, they left all those turned up. Bright. Which I know that they have to do stuff also throughout the night, but they kept them on the entire night.
Yes.
And then they also sat right there. And I know. Yeah, so they sat. So I was sitting right at the front, and they were maybe 2 feet away from me.
Yeah.
The flight attendant, who shall not be named. Oh my God.
I'm trying to get anyone in trouble here.
I know every detail about your life, sir.
He was going to Brazil to meet
I don't know, a previous lover. No, his previous lover was buying a house.
His previous lover was buying a house, and he was going to meet him there to have a fun weekend on this trip to Brazil.
I don't know. Anyways,
we heard everything.
I mean, talked all night long. Did not stop talking.
Yeah.
And which I get it. I know you have to talk and you're at work kind of thing, but didn't even try to be quiet talk. It was just normal, loud talking. They were laughing and all of this. And then to make matters worse, I think they wanted to just make people go crazy. They turned the air conditioner off.
Yes.
It was so hot. I was drenched in sweat.
Hot.
At one point, I got up out of my seat and I made eye contact with them. I was visibly fanning myself, trying to dry off all the sweat on me. I had my earplugs in my ears, and then I had my AirPod Maxes on top of that.
Right. Didn't help.
Did not help. I could still hear everything that they were saying.
And I could
was
hear them
dying.
too. I could hear them too when they were on your side. So I can't even imagine how loud it was for you.
Yeah. It was the most miserable flight of my life.
Yeah. So I remember kind of dozing and then sitting up and looking over at you. And I look over at you, I think every time you were trying to sleep, I was like, oh, she looks like she's having at least a nice night's sleep.
And yeah, I don't know how many times they like looked at me while I was fanning myself trying to get the air.
Yeah.
I'm like, why did you turn the air conditioner off? And I hate to be a person that complains. I don't know. I guess maybe I should have said something as
well, so
at least turn the air back on.
Not
like, can you shut it?
I mean, I think this is where people are like, okay, first world problems kind of thing.
I know.
To one flight, but I feel like, and actually we didn't mention this, so each ticket was $3,900 for each of us. So I feel like when you spend the money, you want a certain experience, obviously, which I just feel we absolutely did not get on the flight itself.
Even flying, I've flown international economy many times, and they turn off all the lights, everything's silent. They try to let you sleep the best that they can, and they don't turn the lights back on until it's time for everybody to get up.
Yeah.
You know, and they're whispering. They don't try to wake you in any way unless they absolutely have to.
Yeah. And like I said, they were having a full-on conversation, not hiding
a conversation and a half. I'm telling you. Oh my gosh.
So I think what was your sleep score? It was 0?
I slept 0 minutes.
Yeah.
Night.
You never fell asleep. And that's why we were so absolutely exhausted when we landed in Rio, because literally neither of us had slept that entire flight.
That's also why I was so annoyed, was because I was really looking forward to having the opportunity to sleep on the flight comfortably and wake up rested enough to start our day.
Yeah. So once again, I just think it's very important if anyone listening is booking their Delta One flight, because it may be a completely different experience on their Airbus 350s with the updated Delta One suites. But if it's
flight crew.
Yeah. If it's these Boeing 767, just buyer beware. So, but we had our experience. I don't recall there being breakfast. Was there breakfast?
Yeah, we had breakfast. We had all of that. It was
the same average.
Obviously not memorable.
Yeah, right. It was mid. And then our return flight, like Zoe had said,
it was a little bit different of an experience.
Well, where did we sit this time?
So we did sit in the middle.
Row 4, I believe, is what we sat.
Yeah, we sat in the middle of like the first class area, row 4, still in the 2x2 seats.
Yeah, it was still the 1-2-1 configure. Same plane.
Same plane. Yeah. Different flight crew, I shall add.
Yeah.
They were a lot more tentative.
Yes.
Much better. Still not like the normal A team that Delta usually has, though. I don't know.
I slept on that flight maybe like 4 hours.
I did sleep on this plane. They turned off all the lights on the plane to allow everybody to try and rest. Mm-hmm. And they were not yapping their freaking heads off all plane ride. It was quiet, dark, and cold-ish, how it should be.
Yeah. Still not a fan of the seats.
No.
Not comfortable. If you're tall, good luck.
Yeah.
And I'm not even tall. I'm average height. So if you're like 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", good luck. So the return flight I thought was better. Even saying that, when we boarded our first class flight from Atlanta back to LAX, the service was amazing. We got seated in our first class seats, and immediately our flight attendant was taking care of us. We were just so tired.
From Atlanta to LAX?
Yeah, Atlanta back to LAX.
Well, that plane was their newest first class domestic plane, and it was so nice.
Seats were super comfortable, and
it was so nice.
We both just crashed out. We both slept the entire 4 hours back to
Mind you, this is just a normal seat. Not a lay flat in any way, but we were able to sleep more in these seats than we were in the actual
lay flat
Delta One seats. Yeah.
So I think that kind of summarizes our experience on Delta One. So what do you think overall? Give me your. Should we do a rating on this?
I don't know. You know, for being so loyal to Delta, I really I was really disappointed in them.
Oh,
they
yeah.
hurt my heart.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I was like, just like, dang.
Yeah.
Why do you have to suck so bad? Like, I was really excited for this. Definitely not how you want to start your trip either.
Right.
Like, you want to have a good flight and a good experience, especially if that's something that you're building in to be part of the experience and be part of the trip and spend extra money to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It was disappointing, to say the least.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So would you fly that again? Like, let's say we were going
Would
to
I fly that leg again with Delta? No.
You would not? Okay,
no.
Yeah.
So. Absolutely not.
Okay. Yeah. I agree. I think if I recall, the premium select seats in that flight were going for about $1,500. So more than half off from the $3,900 we spent for Delta One. And yeah, I would gladly have paid less money and just slept.
I wouldn't have even paid that much. I don't know.
Well, I would have at least done that.
I don't know what other airlines. There has to be something better though.
Or switch, yeah. So, yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I wouldn't do it either. So what I would tell everyone is check your plane assignments, because you can look it up. Every single flight number you can look up to see what plane is associated with your flight number, and then you can tell if it's updated, what the seat configurations are. And I certainly would avoid the 121 for Delta One. It's definitely not worth the money.
Yeah, I mean, that's our bad also. We know we can look at that. We just didn't.
I didn't think there would be such a difference, such a big difference.
I didn't realize they would have such old layouts and planes still flying, especially since they've been working so hard to update all their planes. I was kind of surprised on how rinky-dink this plane was, especially for like still selling seats for thousands of dollars. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no,
like,
absolutely.
Kind of like shame on you guys.
Yeah. So full caveat, when we go on Zoe's birthday trip later, it's actually through a Delta partner. It's not going to be on Delta. So we will have a different experience, hopefully, when we take that trip. And maybe one day we'll try one of the international airlines like Emirates. All right. So thanks everyone for tuning in to our 4th episode of Rezzies and Redeyes, where we went over our Delta One experience. Hopefully we'll have a better experience next time. So
please, Delta, for the love of God, make up for it.
So for our next episode, we'll be reviewing our trip to New York, which we did for my 40th birthday. Zoe was amazing and took me there for my first time, and we're excited to talk about it with everyone.
Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite cities in the world, and I loved doing this trip. This was actually me and Andrew's first Michelin restaurant together.
Oh yeah, where did we go?
It was very special. We went to none other than Le Bernardin,
which was phenomenal. I remember still to this day, we sat down and you said, "This is the fanciest restaurant I've ever been in."
Oh yeah. I mean, to this day, despite how many Michelin restaurants we've ate at so far, I think Le Bernardin is still my favorite.
Yeah, I think so. But let's not spoil it for them, David.
Let's not spoil it. Okay. All right.
Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. Please, if you are enjoying the podcast, rate, review, and subscribe. It really helps us with the algorithms. And we'll see you for the next episode. Sign us off, baby.
See you later.